7.9 FM.
Your number one internet radio station.
The Pinoy sounds.
The music you love right here, right now.
KRM Internet Radio, the Pinoy sounds, Maui, Hawaii.
Hi, this is Joey Albert on KRM Internet Radio, the Pinoy sound, here in Maui, Hawaii. And of course, with DJ Ray.
You are listening to DJ Ray Matao at KRM Internet Radio, the Pinoy Sounds, Maui, Hawaii!
Get ready for a day of fun and entertainment. Maui's favorite radio DJ is back. Live only here on 97.9 KRM Radio Maui. Every Saturday from 12 to 2 in the afternoon. Make it a date and listen to KRM Radio Maui as we present to you the Pinoy Music Mix with Mike Jones on the radio, only here on KRM Radio 97.9 FM Maui.
Ito ang KRM Internet Radio. Maaari mo kaming puntahan sa www.krmradio.net at i-download ang aming app sa Google Play Store upang mapakinggan kami 24/7. Thanks for tuning
Tapno ti ayat mo siya naasagot. Paglaraman tayo sutibyan, amin nagkapuan. Ligat kenamay, Diyos magkamangan. May kayo nawisan kayong kakabsat, no may makiandingay kanya, ang makipaglingling-lingay ken rayaw, tubong ti internet pagditin nga maga. No kaya't mo mapukaw kinaligay, dito'y kan KRM Internet Radio Kapsat. Mapunas malmalday, arik na, tagaduwenda kang umayo masibay. Agkid daw ka, kailiw mo akan kanta, taamin dagito'y patgan ipatukar da, ipatangatang, kas pangrayray awdan, kadagiti mayat magandingay kadakwada. Saan ka na agtagtag kaiyan, agulagin kan KRM Internet Radio pagayam. Apakangagan kadagiti dandaniw, kan kansyon ken sami wengka idukwan. Ala umay kantadang gayanak, napadasek nga'y patangatang, lumam nagrigrigatam nagbalin nga napintas, nga sabi weng sapay nakaliw-liwaen. Agkid daw ka, kailiw mo akan kanta, taamin dagito'y patgan ipatukar da, ipatangatang, kas pangrayray awda, kadagiti mayat makintingay kadakwada. Saan ka na agtagtag kaiyan, agulagin kan KRM Internet Radio pagayam. Apakangagan kadagiti dandaniw, kan kansyon ken sami wengka idukwan. Saan ka na agtagtag kaiyan, agulagin kan KRM Internet Radio pagayam. Apakangagan kadagiti dandaniw, kan kansyon ken sami wengka idukwan. Apakangagan kadagiti dandaniw, kan kansyon ken sami wengka idukwan.
We are the ladies. You are listening to DJ Ray Patao at KRM Internet Radio, the Pinoy South. Maui, Hawaii!
How are we all doing today?
Playing nothing but the greatest hits.
Are you kidding me?
My radio. More music now.
On KRM Radio 97.9 FM, Maui.
Talk Story with Rick Nava and Ray Boboy Pataw. Programa pangaygan na kitag kakabara ken trending nga damdamag. Mangidanon pa di serbisyo publiko iti Maui County babeen ken Rick Nava. Tinateneb ken aktibo nga leader iti nagdudumang organisasyon ken member of Mayor Richard Bison's West Maui Advisory Board. Talk Story with Rick Nava ken Ray Boboy Pataw. Mangegan manipod alas 7 hingga alas 9 tinabii kada aldaw ti Huwebes. Dito lang pagdidinamagan ken sikat nga KRM Internet Radio. The Pinoy Sounds of Maui. Talk Story with Rick Nava ken Ray Boboy Pataw. Dumngeg tap na maimpormaran ken saan nga maudi dagiti damdamag.
Well, good evening. Nimbag nga oras tayo namin kapsat ken gigiem. Welcome to the show. Kung natin man nga rod, programa Talk Story with Rick Nava. Ken guest tayo itata. Madamdamalang from the Frantz Law Corporation. Ay naktayaman mo ito no madamdama iti programa tayo. Panagtuloy iti programa. Nipti oras tayo 12 minutes after 7 o'clock. Yes, it's May 2nd, 2024. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Multiplying KRM Internet Radio, tipagamyo, Mr. Ray Bubipi. Makadkadwayo ni Rick, and kasamaten iti sanga ili tayo, iti daytoy kakapsat ken gigiyan. Ado dagiti intay pagpapatangan, ado dagiti intayo saludsuden, iti sanga ili tayo kakapsat ken gigiyan. May panggep kadagiti paspasamak, nang nagruna daytoy August 8 wildfire nga naramid idi aldaw iti data August 8 kapsat iti kulaken kastamatan iti lahay na ket no kay kaspangarigan no damit iti kayat yung asalsudan. If you wanna call us, you can call us live on air. We're open the phone line at the studio 808-740-4129. No, danto dagiti kayat yung met nga salsudan. So standby lang kayo dito, madamdama ay ken inakiyama mo in kan ikakmampay iti intro na kakabsat iti programa tayo dito KRM Internet Radio. Kumusta kaya namin? Kumusta iti weather? Iti dati manin nagbalem. Medyo nadagang iti panyam po ya. Kitain nyo ket kunada, May is Wildfire Preparedness Month. Simple task to help mitigate wildfire risks. Masapol nga gridam tayo. Moyo dati napasamak ng oram iti lahay na kapsat. Ken gigayan ket saan nga gagangay detoy. Talagang simmang baylata. Well, May is a Wildfire Preparedness Month. Kunada mga rod, the Maui County or Maui Community of Lahaina burned by August 8, 2023 wildfire. Kita nyo, last year over 56,000 wildfires burned 2.6 million acres, destroying over 4,300 home and commercial structures across the United States. According to the National Strategy Fire Center, none were as catastrophic as the Lahaina wildfire or August 8, 2023, which included over 2,300 residents destroyed on Maui. Tayo nyo, kabsat ken game. So nga dati, this month, May, is a wildfire preparedness month. Spanning from Hawaii to Florida and up to the New England, wildfires are an unpredictable phenomenon that can happen anytime, anywhere. The best way to protect yourself from loss related to a wildfire is to prepare ahead of the unexpected. According to State Farm, which released a list of simple projects to help mitigate loss from a wildfire. Tignan nyo to prevent. Create a 5-foot non-combustible barrier between your home and any vegetation on your property. Yan. Trim overhanging trees, branches, and other foliage. Remove vents from house walls. Pick up debris in your yard. Anything flammable should be removed, like pine needles, pine cones, and more. Nagdalos iti aglawlaw kahit nga sa wen kakabsat dalosan tayo dagiti na nga natong kay kayo triman tayo ken kunado pa remove leaves, pine needles, and other debris from your gutters. Mo iti gutter ket dati kalasugan dati ko dati gaputa bubongyo masapol ng ikaten kano dagiti bulbulong dijay. Covers, bend, and openings with wire mesh to prevent embers from entering the home. Install ember and fire-resistant sub-fit vents. Treat wooden fencing with fire retardant or consider replacing with metal fencing. Can replace mulch landscaping with rock. Talk to your local fire department about wildfire preparation advice they may have for your specific area. Create a home inventory. A home inventory can expedite insurance claim process. Claim. Pagpapatangan tayo ito into madamdama data. After theft, damage, or loss. The easy way to do a home inventory is using technology to create a digital copy. Yan. Okay, get padalang nga ro, dagiti sangili tayo. Talk story with Rick Nava and guests. Kapsat ken gigayem. Manipo diti okay. Manipo diti Frantz Corporation. Ay nahya. Maganda madeta. Sarak tayo dagiti kakadwa tayo dito. Kapag share yung man dati programa tayo. We're live on YouTube, Twitch, and FB Live. Please share, like, comment, and follow. Dami dagiti kahit yung salud-suden may panggap kadagiti topic kakabsat. You can call us live 808-740-4129 or go to our page. You can type your comment in there. Nanya dagiti kayat yung salud-suden akit pasumbatan tayo ken ni attorney. Hello ken ni MJ IC De La Torre. Happy watching. Jason Lopez, Wilfred Dahilig, Army Madariaga, Nicole Pastor Marcos Walton, Kayla Joy Recaido Andres. Happy watching. At nagitay daduma pa yung damdamag dito okay, adi nagitay damdamag dito kabsat ken GBM. Dapat dito kunada na County of Maui files complaint against cell carriers alleging failure to report outages during August 2023 fires. Kita nyo? Demandada pa yan pati dagito'y cellphone cellphone companies. Dagyan nyo dato kung nanakit aerial image of the the county posted severe road closure and evacuation notice to their Facebook page on August 8. The County of Maui filed a third-party complaint on Wednesday in the Circuit Court of the Second Circuit, State of Hawaii against Verizon Wireless, T-Mobile US, Spectrum Mobile, and AT&T related to the August 2023 Maui wildfire. The complaint seeks to hold the cell carriers responsible for their alleged failure to properly inform the Maui Police Department in a timely manner of widespread cellular service outages on August 8 and 9, 2023 during the height of the county's emergency response to the fire. Failure da ka nung nangipakam mo. Nga inted iti mapaspasamak 8911. County officials say federal law requires the cell carriers to immediate report service outages to the county's 911 service operators, including the nature and geographic extent of the outages and the approximate length of the outages. A timely and complete report is critical to the county's ability to mitigate the impact of service outage during emergency, said County of Maui Corporation Council Victoria Takeyusu. Yan. Okay, alright, pastakan tayo, dagitay sangili tayo, Manong Rick. If you're ready, can come in now. We can start Talk Story with Rick Nava. Yan. Aging gana tayo di oras na alas 9. Kapsat Ken Games, so ngakadkadwenda kami ha. Please share, like, comment, and follow. I-share yung man dito programa tayo ta mamon met dagiti gagayem nang langaro na kadagiti tanapatag dito pagpapatangan tayo tata Kapsat Ken gagayem. Do iti intay mamuan nang nangruna dagiti naapektaran iti uram sa jay lahay na idi August 8, 2023. Agasin nyo, almost 1 year gaya men. Almost 1 year gaya men iti dato'y napasama na uram Kapsat Ken Ken ti sabali paing padama Kapsat Ken gagayem. Right. You can close that word so that we can get enough space in there. There you go. All right. Let me love on this. Don't ride the white horse. White horse. Okay. There. Don't ride the white horse. There you go. All right, mga kaibigan. It's 23 minutes after 7 o'clock. You're still listening and watching here at KRM Internet Radio. Ito'y The Pinoy Sounds. Yes. And let's welcome our guest for tonight. Yes, let's welcome our guest for tonight live on our studio. Of course, Talk Story with Rick Nava. Rick Nava is a member of Mayor Rick Bisan West Maui Advisory Boards. Baga kidin kada kayo Kapsat Ken gigayem. Ken kasama ten attorney Ward Clay. Yes, he's an attorney from Frantz Law Group, a professional law corporation, trial attorneys. Is that correct, attorney?
That's correct.
Okay, let me put your microphone in here and Rick. Okay, let's greet everyone who watching right now.
We're also on live.
On Facebook and YouTube and tweets.
Oh wow!
All right.
We're all over the world. Ward.
Everybody's
gonna know us.
What is in shock? You think it's an audio?
Oh, yes. Had I known that, I would have put on makeup and put on some hair.
Better shirt.
Yeah, better shirt. Exactly. But we're good. Anyway, yeah. Thank you, Ward, for joining us this evening. As you know, we've been trying to figure out what's going on with our lives there in Lahaina. And maybe you could tell us more about what you guys found about the fire, and how Ward Frantz Law Group can help our listeners. I know we have listeners all the way in the Philippines, but I also know that a lot of our listeners in the Philippines, they have family member here on Maui. So perhaps you can shed us some light to the fire that destroyed lives, livelihood, and many other things in Lahaina.
Thank you. Aloha, and thank you for having me on the show. Yes, I'm an attorney. I've been an attorney for 37 years, born and raised on Oahu, but I was working on the mainland with a wildfire law firm, Frantz Law Group, that's been handling all of the major wildfires in California over the last decade. And when August 8th happened, we never thought that this was going to happen in Hawaii, especially on Maui. And so I came back over in August, and I've been here since, helping with the victims of the wildfire. There's a long history here that goes back, and this didn't have to happen. This was a preventable tragedy, and for all of the folks out there that lost something in this fire, I am deeply sorry, but we're going to do whatever we can to get you back to where you should be. Many people lost homes, property, businesses, even some folks lost members of their ohana, their family, and so it wasn't right. There was a lot of warning, and we were failed by the utilities that have a responsibility to keep us safe when they generate power. And if you'd like, I can go into some of the facts that we've learned so far about the case. And
I think it's important that we do that. It's because there's so many misconception, or all these theories, and everybody's coming up with all this conspiracies and all of that. But I know you guys have done your own investigative work and all of this, so I believe it's important so that our listeners would know exactly, at least why it's important, and that you guys are doing what you're doing, and for the people to know how this fire happened. And as you mentioned earlier, this could have been preventable.
Absolutely. So we really have to go back 10 years. We have to go back to 2014 to see where this whole situation started. In 2014, the Hawaiian Wildfire Association reported that Lahaina was the most wildfire-prone region in the state. And that was the first warning that was issued. And for those folks that were here in 2018, you remember Hurricane Lane passed by the south of Maui in the same path that Hurricane Dora did, that essentially in a close proximity, and it created this weather event with these extreme winds. And there was a fire in Lahaina in 2018. There was some damage, some property loss, but the only reason that Lahaina didn't burn to the ground at that time was that the wind stopped. But the reason that's important is it was a wake-up call to those folks, like Hawaiian Electric specifically, to make sure and prepare for an event happening like this again.
If I could just kind of chime in on that fire in 2018. The fire in 2018, which was August 23rd, 2018, actually, there should have been a wake-up call. Believe it or not, right after the fire, because I'm also involved with the West Maui Taxpayer Association and the West Maui Improvement Foundation, Joe Pluta and I actually made an appointment to go see Mayor Victorino back then and Herman Andaya. So we went to their office sometime in September, and at that point, all we wanted to do was to see their after-action report. As you know, that after-action report for that fire, nobody did anything about it. And so our question back then is that why do we not have volunteer firefighters I asked Mayor Victorino back then as well. I had asked him, is that, do you know, if the fire had jumped on the Anapali side of Lahaina Luna Road, our neighborhood would have been gone. And Herman Andaya and Mayor Victorino basically said, oh, no, Rick, that's not going to happen, which is exactly what happened on this Hurricane Dora. So anyway, yeah, it's really a sad situation, because it happened on 2018 and then again on November 8, 2022, and still nothing, no action taken to make sure that we will be safe. The state, the county, the landowners, and of course Hawaiian Electric. So
you're absolutely right, Rick. They dropped the ball. I mean, lack of a better way of phrasing it, but they had the warnings here that this was possible, and they ignored it. And whether that's because of arrogance or incompetence or whatever the issue was, at that time there should have been action taken. And especially that same year, 2018, the University of Hawaii conducted a study that determined that the non-native vegetation over Lahaina was an extreme wildfire hazard risk to the entire west side of Maui. And as you know, from back in that day, that was all plantation land before, and we never had these kinds of fires back in those days because the plantations took care of the land, and there was enough. They didn't let it go out of control, and they actually did control burns back in those days too. It warned the University of Hawaii, warned the landowners who are defendants in this case that they need to mitigate the hazard, because you have two things for the wildfire. You have the spark, which was created by the utility, but you have the fuel, and with both of those combined is what caused this disaster. Here's 2019 was another opportunity, and we just read in the newspaper, I believe it was yesterday, Hawaiian Electric finally adopted the national policy that everyone else had adopted in 2019, that when there is a red flag warning and a potential for extreme fire danger, you implement what's called a public safety power shutdown. What is that? That is just simply a procedure where you tell people in advance we're going to have to shut the power down because there's these extreme conditions. And utilities in California learned that lesson after extensive litigation. They finally adopted it. But the Hawaiian Electric Company studied the proposal in 2019, and they refused to adopt it. We still don't know why they declined to adopt that procedure. We're involved in investigation and discovery right now with them during the litigation, and I'm sure we will find out very soon. So let's fast forward now to August 2023. August 4th, National Weather Service issues a high wind alert for the island of Maui, resulting from Hurricane Dora passing to the south. Okay, so now this is the setup. But here's the warning. And on August 7th, the National Weather Service issued a high wind watch and specifically warned Hawaiian Electric that the potential fire danger for the leeward side of the island of Maui was extreme. And not only that, the governor's office issued the warning to Hawaiian Electric. What did they do to prepare? Nothing. They left the power on. And the August 8th, at 12:22 a.m., the first fire erupted in Maui at the across from the Bird Conservation Center up in Olinda. And that was when trees fell on power lines and started the fire at that point. That fire is actually captured on video camera from the conservatory. At 12:26 a.m., the Kula fire erupts. When the same scenario happens, a eucalyptus tree falls on a energized power line. Now, why are those fires important? Because now they have a warning that this is happening, okay? It's time to turn the power off and or do something to protect the west side of Maui. And once again, they did nothing. At 3 o'clock a.m., we have a witness reporting seeing an arc flash from a power line when a power pole broke in half right near Lahaina Intermediate School. So at 3 o'clock a.m., the first pole breaks. through our investigation of discovery, we've discovered that pole is identified as pole 7A. You're going to hear about pole 7A as this case has progressed. And that pole in particular was not adequate to support the weight of not only the electrical wires, but the telecom companies have their cabling on that. Spectrum, Hawaiian Telecom. It was too much weight. We looked at the pole in an inspection, and in fact, it had been eaten out by termites from the ground to the top, and it essentially looked like a dugout canoe. And so you combine that with the failure that they actually put the guide wires on incorrectly, you have this recipe for disaster.
Let me ask you a question about those telephone poles, because I would think that now that they're replacing it, they would replace it with something, perhaps concrete or steel or something. Doesn't the state, or is there an agency that's supposed to be monitoring this to make sure that Hawaiian Electric takes care of their equipment to ensure that we're protected? Who's responsible for that?
Well, that's a good question, Rick. It doesn't look like anyone right now.
Even right at this moment.
At this moment in time, no, there
Okay.
isn't. I know other states, most states have a fire marshal.
Yeah, fire marshal. We don't have that.
We
here.
don't have that
Okay.
here in Hawaii.
So basically, even though we have all this situation that happened, we still have never really addressed the issue. Like for instance, we've been trying to get a siren fixed in Kanapali. Colonel Barrows, I believe is his name, where the state said they were going to take care of it sometime in April. And then we presented this to them back in October. Well, it's now May, and they haven't done it yet. So this is how bad we have it here. Ray, Jim is trying to get a hold of us, actually. But he said nobody's answering the
Oh yeah,
the
I think
call.
that's the one we miss it.
Oh.
Yeah. I never pressed the button.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
Call back again. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So I guess if Jim is listening, maybe
Yes.
you could call in, and
Yeah.
we'll have you patched through.
You want me to call him back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could do that, that'd be great.
Sure. All right. I can put in. There you go. All right. Put your headphone, man, so that you can.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, Jim.
Hello, this is Frantz.
Yeah.
I'm not available.
Oh,
Please leave your
he's
name,
not available.
Yeah, you can
number,
call us back.
and a time that you call, and I'll call
Oh,
you
there
back.
you go.
Thank
There you go.
Calling now.
He's calling.
Yeah.
At the tone, please record your message.
Okay. All right.
Hello.
Yeah. Go.
Hey, Jim. How
Hi,
you
Jim.
doing?
Good. How are you doing?
We're doing good. It's too bad we cannot have you on camera here. Ward and I are in camera here, and we're quite upset with Ray because we don't have the makeup person here this evening. So we're
Well,
good.
I think you guys are so pretty that you'll look better than if I was there to ruin it all.
Okay, well, anyway, I have to remove the thing because
There
it's
you go.
too loud. So
Too loud, yeah.
anyway, yeah, Jim. So thank you for calling in and being a part of the show this evening. I know you're in California. You're so committed with this whole thing that you're actually up there. It's almost 11 o'clock.
I know it's past my bedtime, but I'll talk with you guys.
Yeah.
I need my beauty sleep, however.
Oh, okay. Well, Ward is doing a great job here. We're gonna get him speaking in the Ilocano by the end of the night. So
Oh, good.
he'll be still-
I'm working on it.
He's
I'm
going to
working
be
on it.
speaking in Filipino so that everybody will understand exactly what we're saying here. But, and I appreciate you guys are taking the time actually to be with Ray and I here this evening, because it is so important that our community, especially our Filipino community, understand, what's happening here and the work that you guys been doing to help people here on Maui to get back our lives together. So one of the things that we wanted to ask you, maybe we can respond to this, or maybe Ward, is, a lot of the people are asking, how do I know if I'm eligible to file a wildfire claim?
Okay. I can speak to that if you like.
Go right ahead.
If you were in Lahaina when the fire was going on, if you own property in Lahaina and you weren't there, but you still own property there, or if you're a renter and you're in Lahaina and you had all your possessions there, or if you're visiting friends in Lahaina, or you're a tourist in Lahaina and you get caught in the fire, you're a victim. All those categories will make you a victim where you're eligible to file a wildfire claim.
You know, the other people that I feel I think they should be able to file as well are the workers. They work in Wailuku, Kahului, Kihei, but they work in Lahaina. And so aren't they eligible for loss of income and the stress and all of that also? Even though, even though they think they're not affected, but I feel that they're also affected because for, I don't know how long, 3 weeks, maybe even longer, these people did not go to work.
Yeah.
And so,
no, they're all eligible, all of them. Okay. Everyone that worked in Lahaina, had a business in Lahaina, was employed in Lahaina, and could not work there anymore is also a wildfire victim, and they have claims to be made. Okay. Yes.
And do the people that file a claim, what kind of evidence do they need to show support for their claim?
Well, we handle all that with our law firm.
Okay.
And Ward can touch base on that as well. Basically, we gather all the information. They really don't have to do anything other than answer some questionnaires that we provide, and we interview them, and then they can tell us their story about what happened to them, because that's important for showing what they went through. And so we handle all the evidence part of it. Nothing really for them to do but just try to heal. And so we try to make it very seamless for everyone that brings a claim.
That's good. You know, the other thing, right after the fire, the state came in and brought in a lot of the people, talked to the people that lost their loved ones, and then I guess they offered a settlement to some of these people. I'm not sure if all of them took the settlement, and I know there's still a lot of people that still do not know what to do. What would be your, I guess, your advice in these people who have lost their loved ones, and how to go about it with, I guess, making sure again that they're taken care of?
Well, if you lose a loved one, it could be a parent, it could be a child, you could lose your spouse. It's significant, horrible loss. My advice, and we represent more than 15 families that lost loved ones, my advice is to hire a lawyer that's specialized in this area, in the wildfire litigation, and we will fight hard for you so we can get you what you deserve for the loss of your loved one. And notwithstanding, it's losing a family member, but many times it's the breadwinner too. Yes. And it's a horrible loss. There's nothing worse than that. Mm-hmm. It's a lot worse than losing your house, for example. But, so I think that's the best thing to do. There's a fund that's been set up by the state, and it's very incomplete in our view. And there's no reason to get involved with that when we have the claims. We have a trial date already in November of this year, and we're going to have many of the wrongful death claims in court, and we'll get full value there. So that's my opinion in regards to the loss of loved ones.
And you guys are having this talk story this Sunday and Monday, I believe, at Maui Beach?
Yes.
Lunchtime. And maybe for our listeners, if you need to find out more information about all of this, please come and stop by at the Maui Beach from,
12 to 2.
12 to 2 o'clock.
And we provide lunch.
We provide lunch. So at the Maui Beach this Sunday and Monday. So, ni Ward, ni Jim. Hey, Jim, are you going to be here on this one?
I will be on Zoom, but okay. I'll be there in spirit, and Ward will be there.
Yeah. So, okay, well, that's good because I don't think, well, I was going to start talking to you in Ilocano, James.
Well, he has to learn. How else is he going to learn?
I got to learn somehow.
No, if I could just speak to our Filipino listeners here.
Sure.
Gayam kakabsat, siyak na kinvolbak di gito, ito di idinalpas dito yung fire. Nagaduti na kulkulap kanya, i-represent da kumata nakita da kaya TV, dito involvement ko, dito fire. Because, again, I have been involved with Lahaina fire since after the fire in August 2018. So, di nakita da kaya TV, ora di Pilipinas, nakita da kano, kinulapan da nga dagos, no, kaya do nga i-represent, kaya da nga i-representar ng ko na kanya da, I have to wait. I really do not want to talk to anybody else until I know what's going on. So, nag-urayak lang, and crazy thing happened is that while all these people were calling me to represent me on this case, I have a cousin who is a lawyer in LA. Yes. Bye.
I think we lost him.
Hello.
We lost Jim.
Hello.
Hi. Do you have a question?
Yes.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Mr. Nava, this is Mr. Della.
Hey, Floro, kumusta?
Okay. I am listening. I just,
Dindingin ka magayam.
yeah. Okay. For this afternoon, I talked to a customer that from Lahaina that their house or something devastated their fire on their house. And, I share about this. I don't know if they are listening or watching. So they are this show tonight. But my question is, I have a family that live in Lahaina above the fire.
Okay.
Above the bridge.
Okay.
And they are not affected by the fire. But I was listening about, said they are eligible for file a claim or something. Is that right?
They should. I'll tell you right now, Floro. I'm not.
Let's go back to Jim now. You can answer that.
Yeah,
Thank
go
you,
back to
Mano
Jim.
Floro.
Yeah, Floro, I can tell you this right now. All of us in Lahaina were affected by the fire. All of us. Okay. Now, you saying the people, even those people right above the, even though their home didn't burn, those guys there for the longest time, they didn't even have clean water. So,
yes.
my recommendation, Floro, ibagam kanya nga unto no Domingo, no Monday, tilo ka Lunes.
Monday.
Okay.
Umayday ko ay Maui Beach.
Maui Beach. Okay.
12 o'clock, ta kasarita da ni Ward. Tano may bagadam amin iti kwada iti question daya, so that way they can answer their question. I think it would be better that way than just let them know. But yeah, please ibagam kanya dan to no Monday ni Ray ni Jim, he's calling again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Call back. Yeah.
Okay, call back again, Jim.
Jim.
So yeah, ibagam tulata kanya dan, and then Ward will take care of them. But please, and then of course, ito mula ta kanya dati phone number ko na dati question da.
Okay.
298-3953. Kulapan daklata.
I will.
Yeah.
So much.
Thanks, Floro.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Jim, call us back. Thank you. Cut off in there. Right.
Hello, Jim. Sorry about that. What about the statute of limitations? Is there a statute of limitations in this?
You want me to take that one, Jim?
Go ahead. Well, Jim is trying to chime in.
Yeah, well, the statute of limitations for personal injury.
Sorry, Jim. Sorry. It's cut off right there. Go ahead.
What is that?
This is Jim, I think.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah, I lost you there for a minute. It just dropped.
Yeah. No, we were just talking. Ward was about to respond about the statute of limitations.
Oh, okay.
The situation here and how long our people that would want to file a claim.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So the statute of limitations is 2 years from the date of the event. So
2 years.
2 years. That's the main statute of limitations. But I highly recommend that folks not wait 2 years to come forward, speak to an attorney, because things are happening very quickly in the case, and there are other deadlines that need to be met, and you don't want to get left behind if you have a claim. And like I said, the claims can be varied. You can lose your personal property if you rented the home and lost that home. You could have a lost the actual structure. You have you also have businesses that were lost, and that was just brought up by that last caller. So those need to be investigated. And then, you know, anyone that was there in the fire and that had to like escape and flee, they probably witnessed things that no person should have to see. Okay, and a lot of people are suffering from that experience because it's essentially they had to flee for their lives. And there's something called post-traumatic stress disorder, which is a compensable claim. And what do I mean by that? Is that you are entitled to recover damages for your emotional distress as a result of this event. If you were in Lahaina that day and had to flee, or if you, I know many clients who didn't know where their children were because everybody was separated.
No, you mentioned about the post-traumatic stress. We're building, not building, we're fixing up a house that was a rental property that we have to move into, because we don't know when we're going to be able to build in the area where we were. But now my wife is so scared to go there because, again, the way the cars are parked, people died on Mill Camp because the roads were so narrow. And this is the thing that's really I've been kind of like been asking about, that we can't immediately just rebuild without even addressing how the roads are going to be. And so that's an issue right there. So that's good. The other question, maybe you can explain to our listeners about the difference about what you guys are doing to the class action lawsuit that's happening with some of the people where basically they just lump everybody together as one. I think there's a lot of people. And then, of course, the fee structure.
Yes.
Okay.
Jim, go ahead and take that one.
Sure. This is, the class action is really not a good way to go in this case because everyone's lumped together as one claim, and all of your damages are different. Some of you lost your homes, some of you lost all of your possessions, some of you lost loved ones. And how do you put all those in one claim where they're all different claims? What we have is a mass tort case where we represent each and every one of you individually, where all your individual harms and your claims are all worth different amounts of money. Simple as that. So no, the class action is no good. It's not the way to go if someone's steering you that way. You go with an individual claim. You have a right to your own claim and a right to justice from all that's occurred to you in this terrible tragedy, where we have many defendants that really, really were very negligent in this thing that caused all this death and devastation. So that's the way to go. You file individual claim. We're ready to help you with your case. We've prepared the damage claims for over 600 of our clients already. Structural reports, personal property losses. We have experts that handle all that stuff in our office. We have over 100 lawyers and staff between the Levitt Yamani firm and the Frantz Law Group that are here to help you get through this terrible tragedy.
You know, Jim, I'm glad that you mentioned that, and then we'll go with the fee structure later on. The thing that was really kind of like, again, what impressed me the most with you guys, and again, I'm not doing this for anything else, but I want to help people, is that, you know, there are people that I know is out there that they've signed up with people, and when I talk to them, they said they have not been interviewed or talked to their lawyer. And so I told them, it's like, what do you mean you haven't? I said, no, I said, when did you talk to these people? Back in October. And so they have not spoken with you? I said, no, they have not spoken with me. So anyway, again, to the listeners out there, you know, if you have already, you think you have a lawyer right now and you still, you know, you're not feeling like you're being taken care of or represented, I recommend that you go and listen to Frantz Law Group this Sunday and Monday, and because I know that you guys has been really on it, on top of it. I've been interviewed, so is my brother-in-law and several other people, and that's, to me, it gave me a comfort level that you guys are really on it and working with us on this one. And then, the other thing that I wanted to share with the listener here is that back in September, when all these lawyers were calling me and asking me, wanted me to represent me, I didn't know what was going on, but I'm just still listening in. So I have a cousin who's a lawyer in California. For those of you who's listening, his name is Greg Santiago. He's my cousin, my first cousin. So I called him up. I said, hey, can you give me a recommendation as far as taking care of this lawsuit with wildfire? So he gave me Frantz Law Group to look into it. Of course, I didn't pay much attention to it until, I guess, in January when you guys came in. So again, I'm very happy and I'm glad I did. And then again, and this is part of the reason why I wanted to share this with our listener, is that all of us, even though we didn't have our home burned, all of us were affected by this fire. And so, and I know you guys will do a very good job in representing us. Now, could you tell us a little bit about how does the fee structure work with you guys? What is the difference between some of these other law firms that are out there?
Oh, sure. So we charge 25% of what we recover for you. We don't charge you anything if we don't recover anything. We don't take any of the money that you get from your insurance company. That's all yours. Although we'll help you get it but we want you to get all the money from your insurance you can, and then we recover all the damages on top of that. Okay. Because usually you're about 50 to 60% underinsured with your insurance for personal property and for structure rebuild and so forth. So you need a lawyer like our firm. We've handled over 9,000 wildfire cases over the last several decades. And we know what we're doing, and we get you involved with the reproduction of your damages immediately. We have structural experts, we have personal property experts. We interview you at our office in Kihei, so we get your emotional distress damages lined up. So you need a lawyer to do that. And we also make a claim in the lawsuit. We have a claim to get reimbursed for your attorney's fees that you pay and any costs that are incurred in the prosecution of the case, because those are compensable through one of the statutes that we're operating under in this lawsuit. So it's not a big deal. 25% may end up being like 15% when you're done, because we make a claim for those fees as well in the litigation. But it's important that you hire a lawyer now, as Ward said, because if you don't watch out, you'll be left behind. We're getting very close. We're in major litigation right now. And I think you don't want to be left out and come in here at the end when everything's done. And I think you should move quickly. We're happy to represent you, and this is what we do. And our heart and our soul are into this case. We really, really, really feel sad about what's happened. And the reprehensibility of the defendant's misconduct goes without saying. They just totally screwed up all the way through this thing. Didn't de-energize, didn't maintain their equipment. They got hollow poles that fell over and broke off. It's just ridiculous. You know, my expert was looking at the poles. He looked at about 25 or 30, and they were all hollow. I mean, that's outrageous. So, anyways, we're here to help.
Yeah, Jim, maybe we can discuss that further on Monday and Sunday and Monday. Yeah. But because I have a lot of other questions that I'm hoping, you could put some light to it. The one thing that a lot of people are not very clear is the public adjusters. If they're do people really need to hire public adjuster?
You do not if you hire us, because they're going to be doing what we do, and they're not lawyers, and they're not as sophisticated as we are, because we know the law. Okay. So you do not need to hire a public adjuster, because we will handle all those same things that they're going to try to do for you, but we do it better. Okay. So I think that's a mistake. You're going to pay another percent to them, 10% or whatever they charge, 15%.
Yeah,
And
because
yeah,
people
so
talk
I
about
wouldn't
that.
do that. That's my opinion.
Okay, that's great. That's good to know because there's a lot of people out there need to believe that they need to have a public adjuster to take care of to take care of this. So that's great. Then the other question that you might want to maybe you Ward about how do a person go about, because again some of them they feel like they've already signed up with a lawyer, but I told them that if they haven't done anything for you, I think it's still important that you need to shop around and look around at who's going to be out there to actually look out for you, your family, not just a number right now, because we're all, like you said, every situation is different from another. You cannot be lumped together as one. So if a person wants to move on and maybe come to Frantz Law Group, how do they go about doing that? Or is it really difficult? Do they have to worry about anything? Could you kind of like explain that?
Well, you're talking about if they already have counsel or if they don't have counsel.
I guess a lot of them, because they already signed a document that says, I'm representing you, they think they cannot get away from that.
Oh, I got you. Well, it's a free country. You can hire any lawyer you want. And many cases that we have in Lahaina, we've been hired after they've already hired another lawyer, and it's not a problem for you to switch if you want to. It's a free country, and we can switch. I encourage you to go to the meetings that we have, and you can see what we're all about, and you'll see exactly what I'm saying. We know what we're doing.
Okay, that's good. And then the last thing, this is the one that I also asked a question, but I think it's very important that people know this, is that what if Hawaiian Electric runs out of money? Where are they gonna get their money? What's gonna happen with the state? All this, the landowners and all these people. And I know that's why it's important that they sign up as soon as possible. But I also know they're not gonna run out of money. Could you explain that a little bit more, Jim, about how that works?
Oh, sure. So we have a number of defendants in the case right now. We have landowner, Bishop's Estate, and we have the telecom company put their equipment on the pole that was defective and pole came down. We have HECO, which we all know is significantly at fault in the case. So we have a number of defendants, and we have some public entities as well. So when it all comes down to it, when you're in a trial, for example, there'll be an allocation against each one as to their proportionate share of liability or fault. And that's how it's done in all these cases. So I think that there's going to be good amount of money brought in by all these defendants, and that's our job to get that money and marshal it together in a big fund. And we've done it before. We did it in California in the PG&E case, and it worked out well. We've done it in Los Angeles. In the last several decades, that's all we've been doing practically is wildfire. So I wouldn't worry about that. Let us handle that. That's what we do.
Okay. All right. I guess the last question, of course, is that it says, why should I hire a wildfire attorney? The question actually states, why should I hire you, Jim and Ward? Yes.
Before you answer that, Jim, let's take a break,
Let's
okay?
take a break.
All right,
We'll
let's
be right back.
do a station break, and we'll be right back. Okay, Jim, stay on the line.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'll stand by.
Okay. Yes.
Talk Story with Rick Nava and Ray Boboy Patao. Programa pangaygan de kita kakabara ken trending nga damdamag. Mangidanon pa di serbisyo publiko iti Maui County babeen ken Rick Nava. Kinateneb ken aktibo nga leader iti nagdudumang organisasyon ken member of Mayor Richard Bison's West Maui Advisory Board. Talk Story with Rick Nava, Ken Ray Boboy Patao, Mangegan manipod alas 7, hinggan at alas 9 tirabii kada aldaw ti Huwebes, deterlaing pagdidinamagan, ken sikat nga KRM Internet Radio. The Pinoy Sounds of Maui. Talk Story with Rick Nava, ken Ray Boboy Pataw. Dumngeg tap na maimpormaran ken saan nga maudi dagiti damdamag.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets, and they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopRex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
KRM Internet Radio, the Pinoy sounds, Maui, Hawaii.
Playing more music online. This is
KRM Internet Radio.
Your number one internet radio station. Playing more music. We are
the Pinoy
Sound.
Music on the best station.
All right, it's 7 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's continue our talk story with Rick Nava and Attorney Ward Clay. Ward Clay, kakabsat. I mentioned this in Ilocano, dagiti dati kayat ng saludsuden kakabsat kendi gayem si wawaya kayo nga tumawag iti telepono 808-740-4129 or message us on Facebook. We're live on Facebook and there's some question here from Nicole. Horrific recipe for disaster tragedy waiting to happen. So all along they knew that Maui Lahaina is a high risk of fire. And then what is the contact number of the lawyer, please? So you can give that to one of the texter. Maybe you can mention that and
sure.
Okay.
The number
right
is 808-866-0428.
Okay, say it again.
808-866-0428.
Okay, you got it. Mr. Wayne Dumalanta asking what is the contact number of the
Wayne?
lawyer.
Madi ka pala kulam.
Yes. Yeah, you can call us here 1-808-740-4129 if you want immediate response. You know, they can answer you right away. Attorney Ward Clay is here.
Yeah.
All right.
So
okay, go
before
back to
we went to a break, Jim, are you still there?
I'm right here.
Okay.
Yes.
So the question, I guess, is that why should our listener hire Frantz Law Group and Solner Yamani and live it? You know, I have my own opinion on that, but I want you to respond to that question.
Oh, sure. So I was honored to be asked to represent the victims in the Lahaina fire by the Levitt, Yamani, Soldner law firm, who have been fantastic trial lawyers in Hawaii for more than 43 years. And when they invited us to come because of our experience, they investigated a lot of law firms, they told me, and they felt that we were the top ones and been doing it for several decades across California in all the wildfires in North and in Los Angeles area. And, so basically we have the skill set that's required to win. I've tried in front of juries cases against public utilities when they cause death or injury, and I'm one of the few lawyers that has ever done that. And so I think that's a really important tool to have, that you know how to try the case in court in front of a jury when it's a wildfire case, and you know how to beat the public utility or the property owner that may have caused it. And that's one of the major things. Plus, we have so much experience. Like I told you, more than 9,000 wildfire victims, public utility victims of the negligence of public utilities over the years. And we're proud of our record and our results with respect to all these fire victims that we've handled over the years.
Thank you, Jim. For me personally, when, again, like I said, I had a lot of lawyers calling me, asking me, they wanted to represent my family, and I just held off. I did sign with another law firm, but after listening in, and I asked John at that time, because I know this information because of the work that I've been doing with the West Maui Taxpayer Association. So I asked John Yamani, I said to John, hey, John, so, it's kind of like, it's not really a trick question. It's just more of a question to see how much the lawyer know about what's happening here in Lahaina. So I said to John, tell me, what do you know about how the hiring process for the Maui Fire Department? So John looked at me and he goes, Rick, the Maui Fire Department have not hired have not hired any other fireman since 18 years ago. And I knew that. And that's true. Believe it or not, listeners, here in Maui, the only time the fire department will hire a new person is when they build a fire station. In other words, while the county of Maui is growing, we have the same amount of firemen since 18 years ago. And so that's part of the reason why I got very active, very involved with this to help build a fire station in Lahaina, which fortunately we received a donation for the land to build that fire station. But knowing that John is aware of this particular what's happening here, and several lawyers that I asked the same question couldn't give me that answer, I was like, okay, I know what he's talking about. And there are some other things that really impressed me with Ward, with you, Jim, and of course with John. And the fact of the matter is that you guys know what's happening here in Lahaina, and you've been coming here to Lahaina often, and of course you guys have an office here as well in Kihei, so it's great. So we appreciate that, and I think I concur that you guys will do a very good job for the people that you will be representing. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thanks to everyone.
Is there kukulap ni Wayne, nandun ka pa lang?
Wayne, he the one will ask the number of that, and not yet.
So, yeah. So, again, I feel that maybe we could talk more about this Sunday and Monday.
Yes, exactly.
Because 1 hour is really not a lot of time to get this thing covered. They can do, one-on-one, and of course, they can always call you. Or do you might want to give them the phone number again? Maybe we have a new listener right now.
Sure, that is actually my cell number. So make sure it's not too late.
Yeah, so you can call them up like at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yes. But the number is 808-866-0428. My name is Ward Clay. I'm licensed Hawaii attorney. I've been licensed for 25 years. Born and raised on Oahu. And I am of counsel to Frantz Law Group, which Jim Frantz, you've been listening to him. He's the head of the premier wildfire litigation law firm in the country, and so you would so that is why don't you call if you have any questions, and we'll see if we can determine whether or not you have a cause of action.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 11:15 in California. So Jim, we thank you for staying up with us here, making sure that we got some answers, the questions answered. So we appreciate you taking the time to listen in as well. But going back into this thing, Ray, we thank you for allowing us. This idea actually came about because Ray and I were just kind of like talking about we want to try to help our community, the Filipino community. So the idea on this is that next time I'm here, I'm trying to bring in the people from FEMA, people from Red Cross, SBA, all the people that could kind of like just help because, again, rebuilding Lahaina will be a marathon. There are some housing coming up right now in Lahaina, but it's a long way to go. For instance, I'm also very active with the Rotary, and we've lost about a third of our students in Lahaina. They've moved out of Lahaina. Some of them are here in Kahului, Wailuku, Kihei. Some left the island. Some went to the mainland. But the question that we have right now is that what I'm concerned is that after the school year is over, I'm afraid that more of our students, families will be leaving the island. Mm-hmm. So again, for all of you the listeners out there, we, not just the people in Lahaina, I feel that the entire island of the entire state of Hawaii was affected by the fire. Lahaina on Maui, Lahaina is basically the center of Maui. When people come to Maui, unless they've been to Lahaina, somehow they feel like they've not visited the island. It is so important to them to come to Lahaina and hang out on Front Street. And so, it's again, that's how we've been affected by this fire.
Everybody affected. Yes.
The state talks a lot about the unemployed people. And I keep telling them, we have more, let's not just keep talking about the unemployed because we have a lot of people who are underemployed. And again, just because your house didn't burn or something, you feel like you live in Kahului, it didn't affect you. It did.
Yes.
It really did.
Exactly. Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's an important point, Rick. Because Lahaina was not just a town.
Mm-hmm.
Lahaina was a culture, it was a community, and a historical treasure, and it was totally destroyed. And there has to be accountability. There really does. There has to be accountability for the gross negligence of the defendants in this case, and because if there's not, it's going to happen to another community, either on Maui or on another island. And if they don't start, becoming a utility that does it the right way and does its maintenance of its poles, either undergrounding or replacing them before they fall, shutting the power down, which hopefully they've decided that that's the new policy that should be adopted when a red flag event like this is warned to occur. There needs to be a lot happening, and we're gonna as a community learn a lot from this event on how to prevent it. It's just that we need to put it into action, and sometimes lawsuits are the only way to force action, and that is why we are pursuing this case zealously and getting our clients what they are entitled to.
Wayne Dumalanta, it's in Missouri. It's at 1:14 a.m.
Oh, and he's listening?
You can call us, Wayne. Call us over here, 1-808-740-4129. We want to talk story with you.
The other thing that I was quite impressed as well is that even though you guys are going to be representing us individually, there was something, I don't know, it was from you, Jim, who talked about, the work that you will be doing to make sure that what happened will never happen again, by holding these people not only liable now and be paying for that, to make sure that there is something put in place to make sure that they will not do it again. In other words, kind of like, how's that going to work?
Well, they need to follow the safety rules that are in place right now, and we're going to compel them to do that with this litigation, period. The litigation is intended to compensate everyone for their damage and rehabilitate these defendants that just fell down on the job. So it will not happen again, like Ward said, and they will not have another fire that's going to destroy families, tear families apart, and kill people. That should never have happened here, and it should never happen again. So we're trying to make it safer going forward, so we don't have this event replayed in 3 or 4 or 5 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the key to this whole thing.
Yeah, because that's exactly what happened. There's a couple who lost their home in 2018, and then they lost again their home in 2023. 5 years later they lost their home, and so, I think it's important that Frantz Law Group will hold these people accountable and ensure that, because they're the reason we have this fire, and they should be also the reason why the community need to be safe. Is that we need to make sure that these people, the businesses or whoever, will have all those land, will be held responsible, and to ensure to keep the land safety, because we can build all the fire station that we want to do, but the solution is basically to prevent the fire from happening again.
Exactly. Safety first.
Safety first, yes. So yeah. Well, I appreciate the talk story and being able to listen to you guys and educate us and let us know what else we could be doing to help other people, our listeners out there. We are hoping that into Domingo, 12 o'clock, right?
12 o'clock,
12 o'clock.
Yes, this Sunday and Monday, 12 o'clock to 2 at the Maui Beach Hotel. And actually, we are going to, on Sunday, have our one of our expert investigators be there in person to present his findings. So it's a good day to come would be Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing that to me was quite impressive, Jim, and I said this before because of all the other lawyers that I talked to, because I'm big with numbers, not that because I like, to make sure I get compensated, but the idea of how you guys come about into the compensation part with a gentleman from Stanford, wasn't it? The economist that worked for you guys.
Oh yeah,
I can tell you guys this right now. If you already have a lawyer, ask this law firm if they have an economist working in their firm. They'll probably look at you like you're crazy. But I know you guys have an economist, right, Jim, to look at everything?
We have an economist. One of them was on the Federal Reserve Board with Alan Greenspan many years ago. Stanford PhD, Magnum cum laude, top of the class type of thing. I just had him in a trial in Northern California in September, and the jury awarded the exact number. It was in the multiple of millions of dollars for the damages to the family. And we use them in all the business cases here, all the wrongful death cases, and for the families for any other losses that require an economic projection. So he's the best in the country as far as I'm concerned.
That's great.
And we'll be working with them on this case as well. We are already, and other economists of that same quality.
That's wonderful. That's good to know.
Have one question over here. If we are self-employed, but our base is in Kahului, but our businesses are still affected because we serve the whole island, can they file a claim?
Well, they're self-employed. What kind of business is this?
Yeah, never mentioned in
I mean, if you have clients, you're self-employed. If you have clients that are in Lahaina, and also even if you have clients in Kahului, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm just thinking on the business aspect. If you have clients in Kahului, and now they can't pay you because your client is working in Lahaina, then of course they were affected.
Yeah. We try to causally link all the damages that are incurred on the business losses along with everything else. So we have experts that will deal with that directly.
Yeah, so I think it's best that they come in Sunday or Monday so that they can answer the question. But again, like I said, we're all linked into all of this. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean everyone's situation is different, you know. So it's best to come in and talk directly with a lawyer to get your questions answered like that, because it's you need to investigate it thoroughly to determine whether there is a cause of action, and so like we need a lot more facts before we give an opinion on that. But definitely come to the Talk Story Sunday or Monday, and there will be lawyers, Hawaii lawyers there available to talk to you.
Yeah, Ward was mentioning about one of our experts, and was a top fire cause and origin expert in California and many, many, many other states. He's all over the country, and he is our expert here. And he was the head of all the cases as far as an expert in California. He was our expert to begin with. And we're very, very proud of the work that he's been doing for over 42 years in fire, cause, and origin. He was a fireman, he was a captain, he was an arson with the police department. He's been doing this work for a long time, and he has it down like you won't believe. He's really, really good, and he's been investigating this fire from day one. And he'll be there to talk about what he's found out within the last week. Just last week, there was some more developments. So please come to the meeting on Sunday and Monday, and you'll hear from him on Sunday. He'll be live there.
Okay. Okay, Boboy, looks like
not yet. They get still more
we
5
got
more
some
minutes.
We got 5 more minutes.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, di ko na akong digitig ng gagayam kang kakabsat. No, kuhaan yung I mean, to me, it's worth it to listen to to the presentation, as well as ask questions. Agdamag kayo, don't shut yourself down already.
One more, one question.
Yeah.
My friend asked me, all this compensation from the government that they're receiving, they don't know what they're gonna do, if they were gonna take it or what, they're not too sure, if it's that maybe later on they're gonna pay back or maybe taxable or non-taxable, so they don't understand. So do I should hire an attorney? Maybe that's a good idea. That's what I tell them. Hire one if you don't really understand, and
Lisa, I did talk to, if this is from FEMA.
Okay.
The FEMA money is not taxable.
No.
It's not taxable.
Okay.
But next week I'll try to bring in Michael Peacock here. He's with FEMA. And then he can tell you more about what's happening with the housing and all of that.
Okay.
But from what he told me, if it's from FEMA,
okay.
It's not
so they confused, so should I hire an attorney to explain all this, that's and then should to get an attorney.
Well, tax advice is a very specialized area. We usually don't veer into that, but like I said, it's good if you have questions about tax issues to consult with a specialist in tax law. And I know Jim probably agrees with that.
Right, we have one of the top tax experts for fire litigation in the country that we've been working with for many years. And when you hire our firm, this expert will be available to answer any of those questions. And that way you'll get good, strong advice. If
there's anything out there that I think our listeners should really look into, is that with these guys, with Jim, Yamani and Ward here, you guys get a lot of assistance from everywhere else. If there's anything that you should not do right now, is that because this public adjuster, they talk a very good talk.
They do.
They will make you feel so good while putting their hands in your pocket. Well,
that's true.
You can talk to Jim or to Wart, and you don't even have to worry about that. They'll take care of everything. In fact, I've already got a call from the guy that's doing all my personal, what do you call that, personal Property, yes. Thank you, Jim. They called me up at 4 o'clock Philippine time and interviewing me. Actually, I told them to call me up because otherwise, when I get out of this hotel, you'll never get the chance to talk to me again. But this has already been done. But so this is the thing, when the personal, this public adjuster, that's what they will do. That in itself is a huge savings for these people if they haven't done so. So, si kayo gagayam kang kakabsan, nagdandang kayo, na ibagbagay dito public adjuster, hanyong susurutan dito public adjuster. Awan ti bayad na kung madigita. So, mga lakay ti abogado, kaslala dito, gagayam tayo tati dito, isulan to ti mga ipagnamamin. Nagito yung kotam no, awan matigastos yun, the 25% lang ti alanda, ado dito nang ko nga abogado dito nga ag-charge daw from 30% to 40%.
Wow.
They charge daw. Isa tinibagada kanya. Ngumibaga kanya daw nga padpadasan nyo. There's no commitment. Just go there and listen. Just listen in. But to me, that's 15% more out of your pocket. And then a public adjuster, I'm hearing that some public adjuster, they'll tell you, oh, I'm only charging you 10%. It should be 0%. So, in a way,
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You don't need to do that. You hire a lawyer, a good lawyer, and they handle everything.
No, you hire Frantz Law Group, and they'll handle everything.
And I agree.
So, anyway, okay. So, are we done here now, boy?
Yes, it's time now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we'll be in touch with you for next week then, and then we'll go from there.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Jim.
Yes, my pleasure.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And anong Rick, the Talk Story with Rick Nava. Thank you so much, everyone. Tagitay nagpapatangan tayo kabsat lagi pa inyo when ket aday ti telepono ni Ward Clay dito 1-808-866-0428. Yes. Kabsan game. Number ni Manong Rick 298 3953. Yes, mabalin nyo either one. Kabsat no kayat yung tawagan ni Soda, no kayat yung iti Ilocano, of course. Manong Rick can speak Filipino, and Ward pretty soon he can speak also in Filipino. Okay. Alright, gyaman kami kabsat kang game iti siya maning nakidanggay sapay kumata nakitid kami manin iti informasyon. Kalagiti ada iti pakarikutan na may panggap iti anang pasamak nga wildfire iti August 8 iti lahay na ket thank you kada kay amin namin nga sangapat at maraming salamat. Aloha.
If you wanna ride, don't ride the white horse. If you wanna ride, don't ride the white horse. If you wanna ride, don't ride the white horse. If you wanna ride, don't ride the white horse.
Playing more music online. This is
KRM Internet Radio.
Your number one internet radio station. Playing more music. We are
The Pinoy Sound.
music on the best station.